Hi, my name is Joanna, and today I'm going to talk about what can I do when I cannot get out of bed. I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist, but 20 years ago I was diagnosed as a depressive bipolar, and I've been having depressive and hypomania episodes for the last 32 years, so since I'm 15 years old. The phases of depression where I cannot get out of bed are very complicated for me, really very complicated. And they are complicated for a number of reasons. The first is that I tend to feel completely useless. Even now, after having an understanding of what the disease is and how it manifests, this thought always crosses my mind. The second is because I stop eating and drink very little water, or some days I may not even drink water. The third is that it's very difficult to work when I'm in this state, and my level of productivity goes down, and I feel guilty, and I feel like I'm a bad professional. The fourth is that I feel guilty about worrying my friends and my family. The fifth is because I isolate myself and I want to be alone. But there is always someone who desperately tries to convince me to react. For example, leaving home, go out for a walk, do something. And when I'm in that state, I'm not going to leave home. I don't want to do anything. So I get very frustrated with that person because it's not understanding me and my needs. And the person gets very frustrated because it's trying to help and I not listen, and it may start an argument, and in the end I isolate myself even more. So what do I do to react? First of all, in one of my trips to the bathroom, I put a bottle of water by the bedside table. If I don't have a bottle at home, I will use the measuring glass that takes 1 liter of water. And since I'm up, I take the opportunity to eat something. And what do I eat? So I always have yogurts in the fridge, and I also have oats. I also have baby food. You know, those fruit jams and cereals for babies when they are very young, that you just put water with it and you can eat it. And I also have sometimes ice cream in the freezer. And this is because this kind of foods can be preserved for a long time at home, so they don't spoil. It's not a healthy diet. By no means is a healthy diet. And possibly some people that will see this video will get very shocked. But in reality, the most important thing is that I don't stop eating. And between being 1 or 2 days without eating, or eating a box of ice cream so I can keep on fighting and reacting and keeping myself alive, I choose to eat the ice cream box. So, over the years, I've created also a network of friends who know how to help me in these situations. So it's possible that during the day, I can react enough to use the mobile phone, and at that time, I send a message to one of them. And I also book an appointment with my psychiatrists to adjust the medication. Since I take medication, sometimes I need an adjustment. It is very important to emphasize that there is always someone from my core friends or my mother who are in constant contact with me. I'm always surrounded by people. I learn to ask for help. And when I start my depressive state, I try to have always someone that is in constant contact and can help me. During the time I am in bed, I constantly remind myself, and this one is a hard one, that depression is a disease. And what I'm going through, it's just a symptom. And I remind myself that like a cardiac or a diabetic that have serious symptoms that cannot be ignored, the depressives also have them. And one thing that I do, and it's very important, is that I imagine that instead of me being laying down in that bed, in that state, it is a very, very dear friend of mine or someone from my family. And I think what I would do to that person, say to that person, and the words that come to my mind are the words that I speak to myself. The compassion that I feel for the person, or I would feel for the person, is the compassion I start feeling for myself. And I become my best friend. My thoughts are no longer aggressive towards me or of accusation. And my thoughts start having a tone of compassion. And at that moment when there is that shift, everything comes easier to me. It's easier to deal with. Another thing that I do, and that is also very important, is to celebrate small victories. For example, I celebrate when I get up and from bed and go to the couch. I manage to have a shower, or I see a movie or a TV show. Those are very little things that are very hard to achieve. And I say to myself when I do it, good job, you did it. Today it was a good day. And it's important, celebrate these things. However, the good thing is that nowadays such situations are rare, and I make a great effort to not reach that state, because it's not a good one to be. So I do it through monitoring my evolution during the depressive phase. When I see that something is not going well, that I'm more depressed, I'm sleeping more than the usual, I adjust medication and I ask for help. So if you have any question or would like to know more details, please write down in the comment section and I will try to address them in future videos. And you can also send me an email to bipolarchats2023@gmail.com if you feel more comfortable. I hope I brought you useful information, that I was helpful,